Outer Banks 3 just came out. We're gonna talk about it today because I have a lot of feelings. I already filmed this video once. Honestly, it was a mess. I didn't even watch it back because I knew it was a mess. I was going through it. We're gonna start positive. I wrote down 4 of my favorite episodes. Episode 2 was just so much fun to watch. He and Rafe teaming up, I absolutely loved it. And there's a lot of people that want them to get together. Please no, let's not do the toxic relationship. And it just wouldn't make sense for the story, so that's not happening. Jiara's happening, but I do love them teaming up. Chemistry was off the charts. Honestly, the Pogues trying to find Key, those little moments that I really appreciate about the show, like they just had it in episode 2 and I absolutely loved it. Next episode that I really enjoyed, episode 5, Topper teaming up with the Pogues and like trying to help them and stuff. At the end of the day, he was trying to help Sarah and win her back or whatever, which he did. You know, it's always been Kooks versus Pogues, and this season it was more like them teaming up. That new dynamic I really enjoyed watching. The whole heist was so much fun to watch. JJ and Key doing one thing, Pope and Cleo's scene, oh my gosh. Pope talking about like them getting married and having the kid and naming him. Oh my, it was so hilarious to watch Pope in that scene. Have Topper freaking out about like all the crimes that he was committing in one night. Episode 9, it's Jiara's episode. We finally got them. It's always fun to watch Rudy act as JJ. He's so good at it. It's a good time, okay? Them getting ready to leave for El Dorado, especially at the end when, again, Kooks and Pogues being like in the same airplane, like it's just, you feel the tension, and it was such good tension. I literally got so interested into like seeing how the dynamic was gonna work. In the last episode, which is also one of my favorite episodes, treasure hunt wise, it was fun to watch them get El Dorado. The first time I watched it, it did feel like a little too much because I was like, how did like two 17-year-olds find El Dorado after all these years? Like, you know, but it is what it is. Ward reuniting with Big John, so interesting. The Kooks and the Pogues coming together. Honestly, that was like one of the fewer things that I really enjoyed about this season. It was great. Let's talk about the ships, because I have so much to say. Okay, first of all, Cleo and Pope. There's nothing bad to say about Cleo and Pope. They carried the season. I loved Cleo's relationship with Pope's parents. If there's one thing that the writers did right this season was put Pope and Cleo together, and the way they put Cleo and Pope together, I so appreciated that. Like, oh my gosh, Cleo just fit right into his family, and it just made sense. All the positive changes that we wanted to see for Pope, they happened. Love Cleo and Pope so much. They were my favorites this season. I so wish I could say it was Jiara, but Cleo and Pope, just, they have my heart. And the fact that the kiss at the end was not scripted, and JD and Lacey decided to put that in, like, it just makes it so much better. Now talking about Jiara. Okay, episode 1 and 2 for Jiara, I loved it. The looks, everything was just there. It was them two, and they were trying to figure out how everything was gonna work when they went back to OBX. Episode 2 was also very fun. JJ just like literally almost giving himself up for Kiara, and the reunion as well was so sweet. Episode 3 and 4, even if JJ was pushing her away, it felt like he wanted her, and not gonna lie, I love that. I love two best friends. He knows where her future is, and he doesn't think he fits into her future, and that kind of like tension. First scene in episode 4 where Kara was like, I care about you, and JJ was like, like, I'm so happy you do, but how can I put my walls down by you saying that? Him apologizing at the end. Episode 5 was still good. I loved their dynamic in episode 5, even though like Kara got mad. First time that I watched him stealing the wallet, I was like, you're not helping yourself. I understand now what he was feeling towards Key's family, because honestly, Key's family was acting very trashy towards him, especially the dad, pretending like he was nothing. And that really set him off, because his whole life his dad has been that way. So watching his best friend's dad act that way towards him that just brought up a lot of like daddy issues, and he literally did the same thing that he would do to Luke to Kiara's dad. But when Kiara found out that he actually stole it, she was like, why the hell would you do this? JJ was like, get on the freaking bike. I mean, it was also the stakes of the situation. The police were literally like targeting them and they were gonna get arrested. So yeah, Jiara in episode 5, they're such a like duo. For real, as best friends even. Them being in a relationship just adds so much more love and care, and I love that. But them as like best friends working together and being like such a power couple duo, I love it. But the anniversary episode really pissed me off for JJ and Kiara, and for John B and Sarah actually. But we'll get to John B and Sarah later. For JJ to ignore everything that happened in episode 5, to be like, okay, so we have to go get John B's dad. The first thing for him to say that and not even like apologize to her, it felt like he didn't even care about her, which in the script, like that's what they say, like, why are you acting like you don't care? I understand what the writers were trying to do, pushing her away, but he was also pushing her away as a friend. And that did not sit right, because this whole time, especially in season 3, like the Pogues are separated. His best friend is on a hunt with his dad. Pope and Cleo are in their own world. Sarah's like cheating on John B. Kara's trying to be there for him. It kind of like ruined JJ's character for a second. Them developing a character that sees his friends as family. For him to act that way, it didn't seem like JJ. When he's like, oh, I don't feel bad about stealing the wallet. And him saying that to Key, it was also directing towards her. It just doesn't feel right. Like, imagine you're talking to your best friend and you're like, oh, I don't care that I hurt your dad. After being best friends for like years and years and years, it's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Fine, if you don't want to be with me, don't be with me, but don't act like a jerk. That's why in episode 8 and 9 and 10, when Jiara was starting to come together, the transition between Kiara being mad, JJ acting like a jerk, going from that to like them kissing in episode 9. As a fan, you know, like you want it to happen, it's great, but story-wise, it didn't feel as smooth as it could have been. Literally, the guy saved her from Cuckoo's Nest, and that's like such a moment for them. Him apologizing at Kitty Hawk, it should have been more like a friend apologizing to a friend, like, I'm sorry I treated you so badly, even as a friend. But we love JJ and Key. I loved them getting on the airplane, being all cute. There's this added element of like mutual love between them that they don't have with anyone else, and I love seeing that. Beginning of episode 10, he's like, don't worry about it, like, free vacation, we're together, it doesn't matter. Those moments with JJ when he finally tried to put his walls down, them in the bus, then reuniting with the other Pogues. We don't know what happened with Jiara in the 18 months. Okay, let's talk about John B and Sarah. Oh my gosh, the writing this season for John B and Sarah. I'm so disappointed with where they took mostly Sarah's character. I understand that John B was trying to reconnect with his father. He looked up to him, his dad not being sure about Sarah. He was trying to push her away to be closer to his father. But after everything that Sarah has gone through the past 2 seasons, when they had the argument in episode, I don't remember the episode, John B pretty much lies to every single one of his friends. Is like, yeah, we didn't find anything. For Sarah to be like, if you can't tell them, you can tell me, like, I'm here. John B acting like she's the enemy, when the episode before he was like, I'm not gonna lie to Sarah. It just did not feel like John B and Sarah. Of course Sarah got mad because you're like, I've been with you this whole time and now you decide not to trust me. Topper and Sarah are a big thing. We understood from season 1 and season 2 that Sarah chooses John B. So for her to like cheat on him in season 3, it was just unnecessary. I was watching the scene with Topper and Sarah and I was like, I don't understand what's going on. You had a fight with your boyfriend, okay? So if you want to break up with him, break up with the guy. When they had a fight in season 2, she didn't go and cheat on the guy. They literally broke up, and even when she was with Topper, she was like, no, I'm not gonna do this. It didn't happen in season 2. It happened in season 1, so why is this happening in season 3 when there's already character development happening? I understand her going back to the Kooks because the Kooks were still her friends. I don't understand cheating. In this specific scenario, the cheating did not need to happen. Even when she realized that she made a mistake, she was trying to manipulate him into like saving Zombie or whatever, and I was like, girl, and that leaves a bad taste in your mouth for like season 4, because when I saw her cheating, I was like, well, a cheater, always a cheater. That's the last thing that I wanted to happen this season. They're gonna have to talk about that whole thing because Zombie took her back so quick. So even Chase mentioned like he wants to see that unfold and what happened in those 18 months because you can't just get past cheating like that. I feel like I do understand why Zombie took her back so quick. He loves Sarah. They're 17 years old. Cheating is... for them is like, yeah, you cheated, but I also love you, so I want to give you another chance. Like, but you know, they're gonna have to try and figure out because 18 months have passed and they're supposed to be more mature. One thing I do appreciate about Chase and Maddie, before the season started, I was afraid that they were gonna lose those little moments. If something's like not scripted, like they're obviously not gonna do it. They were such professionals, and episode 10 I really loved the way that they were together. They're not gonna mess up Zombie and Sarah. But the writers messed up Zombie and Sarah, so that's another story. That's the thing. All the character development that has happened over this 2 seasons with Sarah, Zombie at times, literally just like, woo! You're kind of ruining the character development, you know? Like, that's why it felt off. Let's talk about favorite friendship. Oh my gosh. I have such a love-hate relationship with episode 7, the anniversary episode, because JJ and Zombie work together. That is one of the highlights of the season. It's so fun to watch Chase and Rudy be best friends on screen. Gotta give a shout out to, honestly, it's a toxic friendship, but Barry and Rafe. And not that it's only friendship, I feel like it's gonna become something more. And it would be a toxic relationship. But I feel like also in some ways, the way Barry carries Rafe through the season. Yeah, he's a drug dealer and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, the way Barry tries to kind of bring Rafe back on to Earth, Rafe, like this season, you see like he actually thinks about everything that Barry's saying, like how messed up it is to like kill his father. Barry understands Rafe like no other person, and I'm usually not into toxic relationships, but this one toxic relationship that like kind of has a positive thing in it. You can tell like Rafe actually cares about him, because he also mentioned it to like Fiona. Is that her name on the show, or is that her name in real life? Fiona, I think that's her name in real life. The way he talks to her in episode, I think it's 8, Rafe says like, this person helping me could potentially hurt him. It's someone that I care about a lot. Seeing that side of him, that means something. So I'm excited to see the relationship evolve in season 4. The storyline itself, you know what it is? There was a lot of Big John, which I understand because that's where the whole treasure hunt thing started. The way that they have shown his character in the past, he's known as being like obsessed with the treasure because that's his life's work. They needed to do that for the story to like make sense. But at the same time, for the fans watching, I don't know what they should have done. We haven't connected with this character a lot. As a fan watching the show for the Pogues and the Pogues finding the treasure, you feel a disconnect. That being the main storyline of the season, you're looking at this new character and you're trying to like connect with him, just like obsessed with the treasure hunt. When I don't like a main character, I can't like the season or the show. I read on the internet about people not liking Big John, and I was like, I totally understand. He should have been there more as a supporting actor than a leading actor. Like, I love Outer Banks. I love season 1 and season 2. Season 3, like, I just felt a disconnect because I felt a disconnect with one of the main characters of the season. That took a lot away for the Pogues and the Pogues relationship. And that's why my favorite episodes are the episodes where the Pogues are working together. Even though, like, they're bickering and stuff, just their relationship between the Pogues, like, that's what makes the show the show. The cliffhanger. Funny fact, I did not understand the cliffhanger. Well, I did understand the point of the cliffhanger, like it was another mystery that they were gonna solve. I haven't watched any pirate movie. Well, my sister mentioned, like, that's where you hear about Blackbeard is in Parts of the Caribbean or in Once Upon a Time. I hadn't heard about Blackbeard. I was like, this is awkward because I don't know who this person is. So I had to research. The last part where Chase says hot damn, it being the last line and the music afterwards, it was such a fun cliffhanger, to be honest. I love that part, and then it just cuts off and it's like, get ready for season 4. It was honestly very shocking to see the time jump though, because we don't know where they've been. In a weird way, you can't connect to these characters. They've grown up, so it definitely feels different. But if the writing is done properly, next season, in between the Pogues and their chemistry, I think it will be a really good season. I'm so glad that it got renewed for season 4 before season 3 arrived, because I would have been freaking out. What I want to see in season 4 now, Pogues working together. I just need that for like 10 episodes straight. Just saying. I want to see what happened in those 18 months that we did not see. Everyone looks like they're in different places. I just want them to still be best friends. I do want them to stay in the Outer Banks, and I feel like they will, because the story about Blackbeard is based around the Outer Banks. I'm over them traveling everywhere and trying to like figure out all these ways to get to one place to another because they have no money. At some point, it all just becomes such a coincidence all the time. Every time you have a problem, there's a solution. Like sometimes there are no solutions to those problems, and you just have to deal with the fact that you can't do something that you want to do. I hope they bring it back full circle and it's more like season 1, because I fell in love with the show because of season 1, obviously. I do want to see more of the couples for sure, but I'm ready to see more of the friendship. The show's not about the couples, it's about the friendships, and I feel like it was weird to watch the show being more so about the relationships than the friendships. It's the Pogues, man. P4L. Barry and Rafe. I'm really excited to see Barry and Rafe working together and potentially getting together. Kira's kookier. I don't know how that would be tied into the story, but I would love to see it happen. And whatever happened between Rafe and Key, because there's obviously something that happened. I don't think I can watch all of season 3 again. Like I can watch season 1 and season 2, but all my favorite episodes that I named and talked about, I could watch those over and over again because they were fantastic. So I would say like half of the season I really enjoyed. I would say I literally cannot watch episode 6 and 7. I can just watch JJ and Chase working together, like those scenes only. Other than that, the other episodes like were fine. It was a not bad season, like 7 out of 10. I'm really excited about season 4. I want to go. And P4L, baby. Always.